What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Roster Watch, the mock draft show. I am Cody Carpentier. You can find me on Twitter at Carpentier NFL. I just got back from the Tennessee Titans and the Minnesota Vikings joint practices here on Wednesday. The Trash Man's currently in Houston at the Miami Dolphins and Houston Texans training camp joint practice, and Byron just left the Jets and Tampa joint practice. So we literally covered 6 teams today at RosterWatch.com, at RosterWatch on Twitter, and Alex will have Trashman and Byron on over the course of the next week, as well as myself. We'll be live on SiriusXM channel 87 this weekend from 3 to 5 Eastern time. Trashman will be on Saturday. I will be on Sunday after a little bit of travel to get back home to lovely Charleston, where I'm at right now. But today we're going to run through a couple of mock drafts using the Ultimate Draft cheat sheet over at RosterWatch.com. Use the 3 simple rules. Mark the players at the chart as you go. Select the highest remaining player. Number 3, if there's a tie, choose the player you like or that fits the roster. And again, common sense used within the tool as you get later on. But if you go over to RosterWatch.com right now, and if you are a pro or a premium member, you will see that version 6.2 was updated last night at 7:31 p.m. Central Time via our good friend Alex Dunlap. 2 quarterback Superflex 6.1 was updated today at 11:45 this morning, and the standard V 2.0 was updated by Byron Lambert just a couple days ago. We're staying tuned in, we're staying tapped in, we're staying updated, we're staying out active, and all of the above at rosterwatch.com right now. I mean, this is what we're here for. This is the season. This is the heat of the battle. We're just a couple mere weeks away. 3 weeks from tomorrow is the season opener for the NFL season. Detroit Lions travel to Arrowhead. I couldn't be more excited to watch that football game. I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a 52-point total game. I don't see either of these offenses struggling very much. We'll just put it that way. I'm going to share my screen right now, though. We're going to go for about 20 minutes. If you're in the chat on YouTube, thank you. Click that like button. Click subscribe to stay tuned in. And if you're on the podcast, please be sure to click that subscribe button and stay tuned in. 5 stars would be much appreciated on the old Spotify or the Apple or anywhere you get your podcast. It keeps us going over here at rosterwatch.com. Thank you. And like I said, if you are live on YouTube right now and you got a comment, you want me to pick from a specific position or maybe dial in a 10-team league instead of a 12-teamer, let me do it. Let me know and I'll do it. We're going to do PPR, like I said, 12 teams drafting from the randomizing spot of 4th overall, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex. We're going to be going against all of the ADPs from ESPN, NFL, RTS, and Sleeper. And we're going to go ahead and use, again, PPR version 6.2, the newest updated version. And I got a little arrogance coming from this one. Alex claims this is the greatest. This version, 6.2, is the greatest cheat sheet that he's ever created. And he's been creating cheat sheets for a minute. So we're going to go ahead and take Alex's word at that. He says this is the greatest one he's ever made. Gooner Boy, what's up in the chat? I appreciate you for tuning in, tapping in. And with the first pick, 4th overall, we do get a choice of Austin Eckler or Tyreek Hill. I haven't gotten a lot of Tyreek Hill, so I'm going to go ahead and take Tyreek Hill right now because I'm betting on this thing being a little running back heavy later on. That's our top-ranked player is Tyreek Hill. Now, at the 2.09, we're looking at just Josh Jacobs, Devonta Smith, Najee Harris. The last few picks, Amon-Ra St. Brown was 203, A.J. Brown 204, Garrett Wilson 25, Tony Pollard 26, Nick Chubb 27, and Jalen Waddle 28. Nick Chubb is a guy that Byron was able to go watch yesterday. Philadelphia Eagles, Cleveland Browns had a joint practice. He said Nick Chubb was by far and away the best running back on the field, obviously, but there was question, really. DeAndre Swift, Kenny Gainwell, and what the Browns had. It's Nick Chubb. He said Nick Chubb is his second favorite running back purely in 2023. So that's very interesting. So we're here at the 209. Again, we have Tyreek Hill at the wide receiver position with Josh Jacobs, who is a spot ahead of Devonta Smith. So we're going to go ahead and take Josh Jacobs right here and put him in the running back field. And then after him, it goes Chris Olave, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf. At the 301, Joe Mixon. 302, Ramondre Stevenson, who just had Zeke Elliott join him in this backfield. Keenan Allen, 303. And we're back on the clock here at the 304. And we're staring in the eyes of Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, and T. Higgins. And Najee Harris is going to join the squad. I like how this is coming together now because, like I said, we could have drafted Austin Eckler fourth overall, but instead we went wide receiver, and then we come back and get running back here. I like Najee. People are going to say, whoa, Najee. Why is Najee on here? Because I was at camp on Sunday, and this is Najee's football team. This is very clearly Najee's team, and everything is going to go through him. The efficiency is going to be up. He's been averaging 3.8, 3.9 yards per carry. He's had over 1,000 yards each of the last 2 years on the ground. 1,200, 1,400 all-purpose as far as receiving and rushing. And I think this offense is only going to continue to go through him despite Pickens and Deontay and Allen Robinson and Freiermuth. Still Najee's football team. The running game has gotten better from a offensive line standpoint, and Broderick Jones is yet to start. Broderick Jones, everybody believes in Pittsburgh that Broderick Jones, his upside is whatever you want it to be, right? Above the ceiling. And he can't beat out Dan Moore right now, but the belief is that he'll beat Dan Moore out eventually as the season goes on. That's only going to advance this offensive line. So that's why Najee Harris is going to be showing up more in these. And we'll see what that does to our scoring on Fantasy Pros because we haven't been drafting him and everybody's fading him. But amongst a lot of conversations with a lot of smart people this last weekend in the Fantasy Football Expo, like Nate Liss, I said, yo, what if Najee Harris is good? And everybody's fading him. He immediately said, remember last year when everybody faded Josh Jacobs because Josh Jacobs sucks, and then all of a sudden Josh Jacobs was the league winner? That's what Najee Harris feels like right now. So right here at the 409, we're back on the clock. The last 5 picks have been Jahmyr Gibbs at the 404, Tyler Lockett, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, and Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders at the 408. I talked about him last week in Carolina, how he was kind of doing a 50-50 with Chuba Hubbard. Now he's banged up. He's got a little groin injury. We still think it's his backfield, but I very, 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 very muchly prefer Najee Harris to these two guys of the running backs I've seen in person, of course, that is. Okay, so now we're on the board right here. So like I said, 409, and we're looking at running backs. Dameon Pierce is here, and Joe Mixon is here. No, sorry, Dameon Pierce and J.K. Dobbins. I can't read. Dameon Pierce is so clearly the top guy available, so we're going to go ahead and take him. That's our third running back. And we're going to come right back down to the 504, and that's going to say J.K. Dobbins or James Conner. We're going to get us another running back. That would be our fourth running back for the roster. We're going to keep rolling here. 609, the last 4 picks. Michael Pittman at 605. Alexander Mattison to 604. Come on, guys. Come on. That's a sick value. I love Alexander Mattison right there. I'm going to be vouching for him to get moved up because today at Vikings camp, I'll talk about this with Alex in a couple shows, but Alexander Mattison had a 90-10 split with the first team today as far as being the first team. It was Alexander Mattison 90% of the time, and 10% was C.J. Ham, not Ty Chandler, and not Dwayne McBride. Coach O'Connell's already expressed question with Ty Chandler's ability to peak in practice. Instead, he just shows up during the games, which he says his practice sucks, which is what I saw today. I tweeted it out. I said, there's a reason Mike Davis and Kareem Hunt have been to this camp, and it's very, very apparent. Just seeing how they're treating Dwayne McBride, seeing how they're treating Ty Chandler. It's all Alexander Mattison with the starters. It's all Ty Chandler with the 2s, and it's all Dwayne McBride with the 3s, and there's literally no turnover in that. So very, very interesting and kind of questionable because a lot of people are on this Dwayne McBride thing, and he literally is working with the third. He's working with Jaron Hall right now in the third team. Not good. But we're back here. Like I said, Alexander Mattison going off at the 604, Dalvin going off at the 608. We're at the 609 right here. Javonte Williams and James Cook are the best available players. But we have 4 running backs, and I kind of want to go tight end here because Darren Waller's staring me right in the eyes, and he's not far off of our range. And we need a tight end more than we need a running back. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of shivvy and shake, and we're going to come right back to round 7, and it says Javonte, still best available player on the board. So we're going to go ahead and take that 5th running back, and that's going to be the last running back that we take on the squad. I'm hoping. All right, so now Antonio Gibson, Elijah Moore. Brandon Cooks, come on down. We're going to fall to the 904, the last 3 picks. Cortland Sutton, Brian Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and we're going to grab Elijah Moore, one of our favorite sleepers this year, along with this next selection at the 1009, Zay Flowers, who Zay Flowers should be getting drafted ahead of Elijah Moore. Zay Flowers is going to be a mother effer this year, and I'm excited. for it. All right, so we now have Tyreek Hill, Brennan Cooks, Elijah Moore, Zay Flowers with 4 wide receivers. We have a tight end, Darren Waller. We have Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Dameon Pierce, J.K. Dobbins, Javonte at running back. And now we're staring in the eyes of another couple of running backs here. And the question is, how many running backs do we want to take? Because if we go to the wide receiver, it shows Rondell Moore, shows Van Jefferson, Jaden Reed. We do have 4 selections left. We could take one more running back. Kendre's banged up, so I'm going to skip over Kendre myself. I'm going to go to click that wide receiver button because wide receiver was showing right there as well. We're going to go Rondell Moore. We don't have a quarterback yet, so we're going to see what the quarterback brings us. And we'll take Tua, get that Tua to Tyreek Hill stack. And then we're going to come down to 1304. The last 3 picks have been Gus Edwards to 13-1, Chuba Hubbard at the 13-2, and Aaron Rodgers at the 13-3, dropping Roschon Johnson right into our lap here at the 13-04. And Tyjae Spears is one. That is going to be really tough for me because he looked fantastic today in practice next to Derrick Henry. He was playing in front of Julius Chestnut. Tyjae Spears is going to be used all over the formation in the 2-minute on the outside. And the way that this offense is going to win in Tennessee is by getting these speedsters to the outside. I'm going to go ahead and skip over him because, like I said before, we have our 6 running backs now. We're going to go ahead and take Anthony Richardson for the moon shot on the upside, right? He's announced as a starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. We do have Tua with that stack, but I generally don't carry 2 quarterbacks, but we're going to go ahead and do it here just for this build particularly. And then we're going to finish it out here with Van Jefferson because, like I said, we have enough running backs, but now we need some wide receivers. All right, we'll auto draft the rest of this way and see what they score us. 96 out of 100, baby. 96 out of 100. And our man Derek Brown gave us a 98. My man Pat Fitzmaurice gave us a 95. They like the squad. I like the squad as well. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this one so I can brag about it to Alex. Tua Tagovailoa, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Tyreek Hill, Brennan Cooks, Darren Waller, Dameon Pierce, J.K. Dobbins. We got the Kansas City defense with Harrison Butker at kicker. We got Javonte Williams, Roschon Johnson at running back on the bench, Elijah Moore, Zay Flowers, Rondell Moore, Van Jefferson as wide receivers on the bench, and Anthony Richardson at quarterback on the bench. 96 out of 100. I will say I did not have the bet that this was good. I did not take the over on this being a 96. I was taking the under on probably like a 91.5 if I had to guess. But 96, baby, we'll take it. Let's run one more. If you're in the chat and you have a preferable spot, we'll take your spot. Just let me know. Those we're going to run it back here. Again, we're going to go PPR. We're going to go snake. This is 2023 season. 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, 2 flex, using all of the composite ADPs from ESPN, NFL, RTS, Sports, and Sleeper. If you are listening on podcast, be sure you can go look over it on YouTube. You can subscribe to RosterWatch on YouTube, and you can watch these so you can see the players come off the board as I talk about them. Otherwise, you can just stay tuned in, stay tapped in on podcast, and we'll just keep on bringing you the good old gasoline. Let's go from I love this 11 spot. I was asked the other day by a friend. He said, hey, man, I got this draft coming up. Where do you think we should select from? Because I got the 12, which is the turn, or the guy at the 4 spot offered to trade all of his picks for all of my picks. So you trade the 12 for the 4. And I said, you know what, dude? I actually love the 12. So we're going to go ahead and keep the 12. And you know what? After telling that story, let's just go ahead and pick from the 12. I'll take that as well. And remember, we're going to be using the PPR cheat sheet 6.2 from RosterWatch.com. Be sure to go over there, become a pro or a premium member, and get that today. Let's go ahead and run the second draft right now. Now, again, we got to go top ranked players showing. And again, the 3 simple rules using the ultimate draft cheat sheet over at rosterwatch.com. Mark the players off the chart as they are drafted. Number 2, select the highest remaining player. And number 3, if there's a tie, choose the player that you like. And again, like I showed you in the last draft, if you have one position completely done, you're loaded at a spot, and maybe a player keeps coming up from that spot, that position, skip it. Go to wide receiver if you've got too many running backs. Go to running back if you've got too many receivers. If you are competent, you feel good about that position, it's okay to skip over that. You don't have to go best available. Like that's the idea of the cheat sheet, but we understand that drafts can happen where things can fall a certain way, and all of a sudden you're left with a roster that's completely and utterly stacked. And that's why you're here. Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet, rosterwatch.com. Go check it out today. But let's run the second sim right here, right now on RosterWatch. All right, the first round, I'll read it off to you. The 101 was McCaffrey. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Number 3, Austin Eckler. Number 4, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce at the 7, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, and Stephon Diggs at the 11. We're on the board here at the 12, and we're given the CeeDee Lamb and then Tony Pollard, with Tony Pollard at the equal rights of Amon-Ra St. Brown. So we can either take Lamb and Pollard, or we can take Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So we're going to take Lamb, and we're going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown because I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they gave me an option, so we're going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love these 2 wide receivers right here, and we're going to keep on riding it right into the ground. All right, now we're coming up with the 312 and the 401. The last 4 picks, Travis Etienne goes to 3-8, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Jahmyr Gibbs. 4 Savages go off the board the last 4 picks, and we're up here at the 312 now. Let's see who's best available. It is Aaron Jones. It is Calvin Ridley. So it looks like Aaron Jones is on his own line, Calvin Ridley is on his own line, and Dameon Pierce is below them. So we're going to take Aaron Jones at running back, and we're going to come right back with Calvin Ridley at the 401, and that's how we're going to start this bad boy out. Aaron Jones at running back, Lamb, St. Brown, and Ridley at wide receiver into the flex. Now we're back up to 512. The last couple picks have been Alvin Kamara at the 507. I don't hate that price because you got that 3-game suspension. I actually really kind of like that 507 price for Kamara. Lockett 508, George Kittle 509, Joe Burrow 510, and Chris Godwin 511. 512 are on the board right here, and let's see if James Conner and Christian Watson are on the same line or not. It looks like they are indeed on the same line. But we're going to take Conner anyways, and we're probably going to get Watson with this next pick exactly because we're going to have back-to-back picks. So there's how we're going to start this bad boy out. Aaron Jones, James Conner, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson through 6 rounds. Into round 7, Deontay Johnson falls to 707. George Pickens is 709, going off close to each other. That's exactly how the ADPs lay. Kyle Pitts goes off 83rd overall, 711. And we're up here at the 712. It's showing Brandon Cooks as the best available player at wide receiver with Jordan Addison right behind him and then Khalil Herbert. So we're going to go ahead and take Brandon Cooks. So that's 2 Dallas players. And then we're going to go ahead and take Jordan Addison right here. And that's going to give us our 5th and our 6th wide receiver. And now we're going to hit Zay Flowers at the 912. And we're going to skip over Courtland Sutton. And I'm going to take Kendre Miller. This is kind of similar to a minute ago. I mentioned maybe skipping over a spot. I just did it. I just went against it. Courtland Sutton was there. Courtland Sutton kind of makes me want to vomit. So I skipped over him and I took Kendre Miller. I did the thing. I did it. I'm sorry. I did it. I'm sorry. Jalen Warren goes 11-11 right in front of Romeo Dogwater at 11-10, who went in front of Tyler Algier and Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard's price of 11.08 is pretty good. Kenny Gainwell's price of 11.07, pretty good. Jalen Warren, little rich for my blood at 11-11 right there, but we're on the clock right here at 11-12 and 12-01. We're going to take Roschon Johnson, the running back, the bull, the brute out of the Chicago Bears. He's going to be a thing by the end of the season. That's a guarantee. You can write it down in pen. Kendre Miller, Roschon on the bench, Brandon Cooks, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers on the bench. We still need a quarterback, a tight end, and 2 bench spots. The question is, if we don't take Tua right here and we take our last wide receiver, Rondale Moore, will Anthony Richardson fall to us? I don't know. I don't know if you will. All right, we're going to click all. It's saying take Tua. It's saying take Tua. I can't go against it. We're going to take Tua right here. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take Anthony Richardson right back to back because he's right there. All right. And that leaves us with our last selection of the draft. That is Hayden Hurst, the stud out of Carolina. And then we're going to auto draft the rest of this bad boy. B-. They hated that one. 81 out of 100. We got Tua in this one. Aaron Jones, James Conner, a couple of aging guys. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love how it started. Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Brandon Cooks, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers for that midseason bump. We got Kendre Miller, Roschon Johnson to back up Aaron Jones and James Conner. I guess you could say we're kind of light at the running back position because Kendre's a little banged up and Roschon's not going to give us any gas or helium till the midseason. So I can see maybe with that Richardson pick, I got a little I got a little fat fingered. I should have taken Tyjae Spears. I guess I could understand that. But Derek Brown did give us a 93. That is a whopping 15 points ahead of Andrew Erickson, 17 in front of Pisa Pia and Fitzmaurice. I like the roster. Honestly, I would have skipped over Tua if it was my own build, but I like the roster. I think it's a good build. Let's do one more here. It's only taking us 20 minutes. So we'll do one more here. And let's take this one from the opposite end. Let's go from the one spot right here. PPR Snake. Again, PPR Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet at RosterWatch.com. To run these, go over, be a pro member, become a premium member, and you can get the PPR 6.2 was updated late last night, and you can get drafting and get dominating in each and every one of your drafts against your friends, against your family, against your foes. I don't give a shit. Dominate them with the Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet today. All right, we'll type in our top ranked players. We'll do a speedy one here from the 101. We're going to take that guy, CMC Christian McCaffrey, from the 101 right here. Let's see what we can build from this disgusting roster. 212. We're back on the clock, and Najee Harris rears his head. Come on down, Najee. Join the squad. Let's build a completely. Let's just build a disgusting roster right here. Travis Etienne also at the 301. So we're going to go ahead and start this draft out running back with McCaffrey, Najee, and Etienne. And then we're going to come on back to the 412. And Miles Sanders is there for us at, what is this, pick number 48. His ADP is 47. J.K. Dobbins is 69. He's right there. So we're going to go ahead and take Miles Sanders. It's our fourth running back. It is what it is. And we're going to take DeAndre Hopkins. Right? Do we go 5 running backs? If we do 5 running backs, I don't know. Has anybody got a thought in the comments? Should we go 5 running backs right here? Gooner Boy, are you still in here? Should we go 5 running backs? The cheat sheet's saying go 5 running backs here. That would be a disgusting start, but it is also drafting a bench player. Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Miles Sanders, and it's saying to draft J.K. Dobbins over DeAndre Hopkins. Do I do it? Because this is going to be a sick roster from the running back perspective if we do it. And it does give us a little bit of insurance at that running back position where we've seen Miles Sanders be banged up week in and week out. We've seen Travis Etienne miss multiple games. Najee Harris, obviously a guy that we're kind of worried about as far as the usage and the shares goes. And obviously Christian McCaffrey, we have seen him do it as well. You know what? I just talked myself into it. Let's take another guy that has been banged up himself, J.K. Dobbins. We just did it, man. We're done at running back. I'm saying it right now. We're done. Now, wide receiver 1, 6'12", Mike Evans falls to us at the 6'12", and then we get our tight end right there at the next selection with Darren Waller. So you couldn't have asked for a better situation for getting that number 1 wide receiver than being a Mike Evans type guy. I know it looks like Kyle Trask today. Byron was at the Tampa Bay and New York Jets practice, and he said, hey, it's Kyle Trask's job to lose at this point. So Mike Evans being the number 1 guy, we will see what it looks like. And then we're coming right back here to the 8-12. Brennan Cooks is our top-ranked player right here. And then Jordan Addison shortly after. So this is almost running pure. This almost is going to run pure. I said we're done at running back, so we're going to skip over Kendra. We're going to take Sky Moore. And then we're going to take Alan Lazard here at the 11-01. And we're going to fall down to the 12-12. And I know I just said we're done at running back, but Roshan said, hey, draft me, so I'm going to do it. He said it. And we're going to take our quarterback. And this might be my favorite roster we've ever built right here. This is from the one hole, and this is sick. So we have our 2 running backs on the bench, 3 wide receivers on the bench. We have 4 starting running backs, 2 receivers. We could use another receiver. We could use potentially that Hayden Hurst thing right there. Let's go ahead and take Van Jefferson because he's a starter out with the Rams. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do with this last selection. So we got McCaffrey, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, Roshan Johnson. We got 6 running backs. We got Mike Evans, Brennan Cooks, Jordan Addison, Sky Moore, Alan Lazard, Van Jefferson, 6 receivers. So we're coming down to Jaden Reed or Hayden Hurst. Do we take that backup tight end that we know? This has been my rule for all drafts right now. If you miss on Darren Waller, you take Hayden Hurst. And Hayden Hurst is here with the last selection in our draft. Do we take Hayden Hurst here, or do we go wide receiver with Jaden Reed, the guy that nobody knows and nobody's talking about right now? But we have him ranked almost 110 spots ahead of where his ADP is currently standing at 236 overall. He's going to be that dude in Green Bay. He's healthy. What do? We take Jaden Reed. That's the roster. That is it. This is going to be this. If this isn't a 99, this game's broken, and I'm never drafting again. I'm afraid. 97. This is a roster right here, baby. Anthony Richardson, Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, Darren Waller, Travis Etienne, Miles Sanders. Denver defense, Harrison Butker at kicker, J.K. Dobbins, Roshan Johnson, Jordan Addison, Sky Moore, Allen Lazard, Van Jefferson, and Jaden Reed at wide receiver to close with this 97 out of 100. Andrew Erickson gave us a 97 as well. Pisa P at 96, Fitzmaurice 95, and Derek Brown a 92 from the boys over at Fantasy Pros. This has been a sick draft using the PPR version 6.2 over at rosterwatch.com. The ultimate draft cheat sheet. Remember, 3 simple rules using the ultimate draft cheat sheet, and we guarantee you a championship level roster every single time. Mark the player off the chart as they're drafted during your draft. Select the highest remaining player. And if there's a tie, choose the next player you like. Or for this example, in this particular draft that we just ran, we started out running back, running back, running back, running back, running back. And at that point, you're almost built out. So if you wait 6 more rounds and you maybe skip over a couple guys, they're at the top of the chain, I would understand that. But you always come back to Roshan Johnson late in these drafts. Thank you guys for staying tuned in here on YouTube. If you're on podcast, I thank you as well. Be sure to click and rate it 5 stars on Spotify, on Apple, wherever you are listening. If you're on YouTube, click that like button, click subscribe. We'll be back later this week with more training camp conversations. We'll be back on Saturday and Sunday from 3 to 5 Eastern on SiriusXM channel 87 as well. I'll be live on Sunday. Trashman will be live on Saturday. And again, remember, we're always live. We're always boots on the ground. We're always tuned in. So stay tapped in at RosterWatch on Twitter. My name is Cody Carpentier. You can find me on Twitter at Carpentier NFL. Until next time, appreciate you.